Today is we're going to continue on with the trig, and we're going to talk about something called reference angles. Now, we've actually been doing a little bit with these, working with these already. I just haven't been calling them reference angles. And basically what we want to think about with this topic is we're doing trigonometry, which is the geometry of a right triangle. So that means we have to deal with, for example, right angles and right triangles. So, for example, if I say sketch, let's say 120 degrees, right? So let's take a look at that. So I make an x and y axis, right? This is good old 0. This is 90, 180. So remember, like that when this topic first started, this was one of the first lessons we did. Well, 120 would be from here to here. That's 120 degrees, approximately. Now, back when I asked you to just sketch 120, this is all you had to do. And sometimes I asked you what quadrant you were in, right? And that's quadrant 2. But now I want to eventually do trigonometry to this. Now, we can't do trig unless we have a right triangle. So what we're going to do is draw in a right triangle. And there's the right angle right there. So anytime we make our right triangle, the right angle has to touch the x-axis. Now, if you notice, you guys, this little corner there, that would be what we would use to do SOHCAHTOA. And this is our reference angle. That's actually the angle we're going to use to do the trigonometry. So that's the reference angle. And I would love to know how big that is. Well, if this is 120, and from here to all the way to here would be 180, we would do 180 minus 120. That would make that reference angle 60 degrees. So what we're going to do now is a bunch of this. I'm going to give you an angle, and I'm going to want to know what is the reference angle to the given angle. So the directions are going to be find the reference angle. And then we're going to put it all together with trig eventually. Right? So I'm going to find the reference angle. The first one I'm going to say, let's do 200 degrees. All right, so let's start with that one. So find the reference angle to 200 degrees. Means I have to graph 200. So this is 0, 90, 180. So 200 would be a little past that. Down here would be 270, right? So 200 would bring me from here to here. Your next step is to draw in a right triangle. Now, you're never going to draw your right triangle horizontally. It's never going to hit the y-axis. Your right triangles always have to have the right angle against the x-axis. So now I need to know how big that theta is. What is that little corner? Well, this was 200 degrees, and we know from here to here is 180. So this time I'm going to do 200 minus 180. That means we went 20 degrees. That little red angle right there, the reference angle, is 20 degrees for that guy. Okay. So what if I ask you guys to do 290 degrees? All right, start by drawing it and drawing the right triangle. So you could pause me. 270, 290, where would that be? So 0, 90, 180, 270. This would be 360 again. So 290 would put me right there, a little bit past the 270. Now I got to draw your right triangle. Now remember, the rule is the right triangle has to go to the x-axis. So there's the right angle. So this little corner is going to be the reference angle. So I need to know how big that is. Well, now notice we're on this side of the graph now. Right? When I was over here, I used 180. But now I'm over here, so I'm going to want to know how far away am I from 360. So I'm going to do 360 minus 290. That would be 70 degrees. So that reference angle is 70. Okay, so let's try a couple more. Right? 3, okay? I would like you to do 110 degrees. And after you do 110, I would like you to do negative 150. All right, so pause the video, give these two a try, and then turn me back on. Okay, so I hope you pause me. Let's graph 110. 0, 180, 180, right? So 110 would be a little past 90, so maybe here. You're just kind of guesstimating. So from there to there is 110. Now you need a right triangle. Now where does the right angle always have to touch? The x-axis. All right, so that's my reference angle right there. So notice we're back on this side near 180. So I'm going to do 180 minus 110, right? That means we have 70 degrees, this missing angle is 70 degrees. All right, so if you didn't get that right, pause me and try the next one again. Redo it. So I hope you pause me. Let's do negative 150. So negative means we're going down. So this is 0, negative 90, negative 180. So negative 150 means I'm going backwards to about here. Okay. So negative 150 brings me backwards. Again, I'm going to draw my right angle against the x-axis. So there's my reference angle, the red guy there in the corner. Now, negative 150. How far away is negative 150 from negative 180? How much further? What's the physical size of this? And it's going to be 30 degrees, right? Because 150 is 30 away from 180. And reference angles are always positive. I don't care what direction we're going in, I just need to know the size. So reference angles are always positive. All right, so let's try 2 or 3 more. So what if I give you, let's do 380 degrees. If I give you negative 300, then I'll put a number 7 over here somewhere. Let's see, let's find another little one. Let's do negative 15 degrees. All right, give these 3 a try. Why don't you pause me and see if we can come up with these 3 answers. Okay, so hopefully you pause me. Let's graph 340, 0, 90, 180, 270. Here's 360, right? 340 means we're almost the whole way around the circle. So there's 340. Draw in your right triangle. Right? I need this little corner, right? So I need this guy right there. That's my reference angle. Well, guys, if this is 340, what would this tiny little wedge have to be in here? And I hope you're thinking 20 degrees. So 20 degrees is the reference angle for that one. Okay, number 6, negative 300. So negative means we're going backwards. So 0, negative 90, negative 180, negative 270. This would be negative 360, right? So negative 300 means we're going backwards about there. Okay, so this is negative 300, backwards 300. So I'm going to draw my triangle. I need to know how big this little wedge is going to be in here. Well, if this is 300, what's a whole way around a circle? 360, right? So that means the missing little piece, that's our reference angle, is positive 60 degrees. And finally, negative 15. This is 0. This is negative 90. Negative 15 means I'm going bloop, down 15. That's about it. All right? So I went down 15. Now what I've got to do is draw in my right triangle. Now remember, your right triangles your right angles always have to be against the x-axis. So I need to know, how big is this little wedge, this reference angle? Well, I went down 15 degrees. So the reference angle is just positive 15. Even though it's negative 15, it says that means I went down. Reference angles are always positive because I just need to know how big it is. And that's reference angles, guys. So you're going to have a short assignment on reference angles to do, and then we're going to put it all together with some more trig.